Hello, dear viewers. Welcome to the second part of our podcast. With me, I am Mehmet Yaşar, and we're going to talk about a story. So, let's start, shall we? Mehmet Yaşar, it's so great to have you here. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I would like to introduce myself. Thank you for having me here. Hello, my name is Mehmet Yaşar. I'm from 2A. Today I'm gonna talk about this book. It's called Roberto's Backpack. So I like this book. I read it and it has a lot of things in it. So can Kerim talk? Kerim can talk.
Alright, so could you explain why do you like this book so much? Like, give it a good example, maybe.
Okay, I will give it a good example. So there's a boy called Roberto, and he turns 10 on this morning. He wakes up, and his dad says, "Now, Roberto, now you're 10. You can drive the goats home," and he shows how to drive the goats home. So after that, the Roberto, when driving the goats home, he just sells the goats free and play with these two boys that says, "Hi Roberto, come play with us." So I like this book and I will talk about it more later. I'm giving you the talk.
So, since you said that Roberto's father said that he would take over the job of putting the sheep in the pen, if I'm correct, do you think if you were given that responsibility, would you do it?
I don't know. If I'm Mexican, I will do it. If my dad says.
Alright. So, you said if you were Mexican. If you're Mexican, you said you would do the responsibility of putting the sheep in the pen. But what if you were not Mexican, you were Turkish?
I'm not sure about that if I were Turkish.
Okay, I suppose.
I'm not sure
That's normal.
of driving goats home.
Alright, so what about, can you explain who Roberto is?
Roberto is a Mexican boy. He was 9, but he turned 10 on this book in the morning. So, Roberto is a Mexican boy who lives with his parents in a small village in Mexico. I want to talk about his hair. His hair is black and his hair is short. He's black, his tone is black, and he goes to school. That's all for I'm talking.
So, for example, Roberto is turning 10, right?
Yeah.
And you said that he was 9, correct?
Yeah, but he turned 10 on this book.
Alright. And he lives in a small village in Mexico?
Yeah,
Alright.
that's true.
So, what if, for example, Roberto was 18, but he would act like a 10-year-old? What would you do? What would he act like?
I don't understand. Can you repeat that again?
So, what if Roberto was an 18-year-old, but he acted like a 10-year-old?
That's not good example, but I would say nothing about it. I don't know.
Yeah, it's understandable because you could never tell what you just imagine. Give an example. Get a good example from your head. Come on.
I think it will be funny or something.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
They will call him immature. He's 18. Why is he acting like a 10-year-old?
Yeah, they will ask that, I think.
Alright, so another question. What does Roberto do after he was given the job from his father?
I don't know. I think it's a good idea, but the dad gives the job after school.
So what does he do while, in the first few days?
In the first few days, Roberto, when driving, goes home. He sees two boys in a big tree climbed and playing, and they say, "Roberto, come play with us." Roberto drops the stick and sets the goats free and goes play with them. After some minutes, there's no goats. Roberto runs to home and sees a angry elderly man. Angry at him, says, aggressive at his dad, Roberto's dad, saying, Your goats eat my vegetables. And his dad looks to Roberto and angry, and Roberto looks Dad. Sorry, Dad says. After that day, again Roberto does that, and there's a difference. This time Roberto goes to play football, and now this time he sees an elderly woman saying, "Your goats break my sheets." After that, his sister Andrea says, what should we do? He don't listen. And after that, she says, I have an idea. He likes his new backpack, so if we put his backpack on his back, he cannot do anything. So when Roberto comes, they do that tactic. So when Roberto is driving to go home, they see two boys swimming in the lake. Three boys, I think, because the one was playing in the grass. And after that, they say, Roberto, play with us. Roberto says, I'm busy later. And after that, Roberto thinks. Roberto goes home and pulls his backpack out of his bag and goes to play with the boys in the lake. That's all.
So basically Roberto was ignoring his father's commands so he could go play with his friends?
I think, yeah.
Do you think getting angry at him is deserved because of this reason? Because he's ignoring his job?
I don't know. If it would be a normal job, I will definitely say, what are you doing? It's your normal job. You can't get any money. So I think he will deserve what he did.
Alright. But in the end you said his sister came up with a plan.
Yeah.
That's basically he would put his backpack in his back and he would bring it with him, right?
Yeah.
But why do you think, why does this happen? Why does say I'm busy later, but before that he said, okay, I'll play with you. Why do you think that?
I don't know. I will not do anything about it. I'll play with him.
Alright. So, what would you say what you've learned from this book?
I would like to say I just learned so many things about this book.
Like, have you learned how hard it is to live as maybe a Mexican boy back in the past or maybe in today's world?
In the book, it didn't say about how is being hard is being Mexican, but it's about Roberto. I just learned about Roberto.
So basically, you learned that Roberto.
Yeah, this book tells about Roberto and his family.
It tells him about how important jobs are, that you could become super successful, in my opinion. If Roberto keeps his job up, he could probably be successful and his family would be very proud of him.
I think, yeah, because on a real job, like working, he could get money if he takes his responsibility. So it will take money, and his family will be proud of him, I think.
That's good. So, thank you for being here. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thanks.
And I will see you later. Give me a handshake, come on. As of now, our recording of part 2 of our podcast comes to an end. Please stay tuned for future uploads and make sure to like and subscribe. See you!